At the age of 35, King Chud decided it was finally time to take a bride. But not just any bride. She had to be the most beautiful and remarkable woman ever to grace the queen's throne. For a decade, he had avoided marriage, believing no woman could match his intelligence. Yet, as the years passed, the pressure to marry and secure an heir grew. King Chud, a wise and just ruler, decided to set 3 rigorous tests for 3 maidens chosen from neighboring kingdoms. Only the one who could pass all 3 tests would win his heart and the crown. The announcement of the competition caused great excitement throughout the land. Everyone knew King Chud as a man of unparalleled wisdom, ruling with empathy and fairness. His intellect had been evident since childhood, as he excelled in his studies and impressed even the most experienced elders. When he ascended the throne at the young age of 25, following the death of his father, King Yemi, there was no doubt he was the right choice. However, ruling without a queen for 10 years had left the elders uneasy, and they hoped this competition would finally bring a worthy bride to the palace. The 3 maidens arrived at the palace a day before the competition began. They were treated to a grand feast, with the finest food and entertainment the kingdom could offer. The atmosphere was electric, filled with anticipation and joy. Each maiden carried herself with grace and confidence, aware of the immense honor and responsibility that lay ahead. Before the tests, they faced a preliminary round of questions from the elders, who were impressed by their intelligence and composure. It was clear that these women were no ordinary maidens. The next morning, as the sun rose, the town hall was packed with eager spectators. The king entered with his usual air of authority, and the crowd fell silent. He began by explaining the first test, a fitness test. To sit beside me on the throne, my queen must embody perfection, he declared. The palace guards then brought in a frame meticulously crafted by the kingdom's best sculptors. The frame had specific measurements, and each maiden was required to pass through it effortlessly. The crowd murmured in disbelief. The frame looked impossibly narrow, and many doubted anyone could fit through it. However, the maidens remained confident. One by one, they stepped forward and successfully passed through the frame, their poised movements earning gasps of admiration. King Chud, who had expected this test to eliminate at least one contender, was visibly surprised. After a brief pause, the second test began. "This round will test your intelligence," announced the oldest elder. "Our king is known for his wisdom, and his bride must be equally intelligent." The maidens were presented with a series of riddles, some so complex that even the elders had struggled to solve them. Yet, to everyone's amazement, the maidens answered each question with remarkable speed and accuracy. The crowd erupted in cheers, but the king remained thoughtful. 2 tests had been passed, yet his quest for the perfect bride was far from over. Finally, the 3rd and final test was announced. The atmosphere grew tense as the king ordered 3 cups of wine to be brought in. He also summoned 3 prisoners on death row and instructed them to drink from the cups simultaneously. To the crowd's horror, one prisoner clutched his throat, collapsed, and died. It became clear that one of the cups was poisoned. Turning to the maidens, King Chud presented them with another set of 3 cups. "You must each choose a cup and drink," he said calmly. The first maiden, trembling with fear, refused. She accused the king of trying to harm them and withdrew from the competition, storming out in tears. The crowd murmured uneasily, but the king remained composed. "Participation is voluntary," he reminded everyone. "No one is forced to stay." The second maiden, Alama, hesitated as she picked up a cup. Her hand shook so badly that she set it down again and asked the 3rd maiden, Yugama, to drink first. To everyone's surprise, Yugama confidently picked a cup and drank its contents without hesitation. When nothing happened to her, Olama mustered the courage to lift her own cup. But as she brought it to her lips, fear overtook her again. She dropped the cup and collapsed, sobbing uncontrollably. Yugama, unshaken, picked up Olama's cup and drank it as well. Then, with a bold smile, she picked the final cup and drank that too. The crowd was stunned. Yugama turned to the king and said, "Your Majesty, I know you are a wise and just leader. You would never harm us. This was a test of courage, and I trust you completely." King Chid's face lit up with admiration. He had indeed not poisoned any of the cups in the second set. The test was meant to gauge their bravery and trust. The crowd erupted into cheers as the king declared Yugama the winner. "You have proven yourself to be the most courageous and deserving maiden," he said. "You will be my queen." The palace buzzed with excitement as preparations for the wedding began. The ceremony was held the following day, and it was the grandest the kingdom had ever seen. Yugama dazzled in her regal attire, her beauty and poise captivating everyone present. King Chud and Yugama exchanged vows, and the kingdom celebrated their union with feasting and dancing that lasted for days. As time went on, Yugama proved to be a wise and compassionate queen. She and King Chud ruled together harmoniously, earning the love and respect of their people. They had 3 children, each inheriting their parents' intelligence and charm. The kingdom flourished under their leadership, and the story of how Yugama became queen was passed down for generations as a tale of courage, trust, and the triumph of the human spirit. If you watched up until now, it means you enjoyed this video. Be kind enough to give us a like and subscribe for even more interesting stories coming up soon.